The Weekly Warm Pipe.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back.
Welcome to the Weekly Warp Pipe.
I'm Russ Lyman, and with me is Jay, the NES addict.
That's correct, Russ.
We took a little summer break, but we're back.
Yep, refreshed, ready to roll.
We did post up. Sometimes we get short on topics, right? We don't know what topics to talk about here on the Weekly Warp Pipe. Trying to keep that nostalgia going, seeing what you guys want to hear. You could always call into us as well if you have topic ideas. We do have a phone number to the show. It's in the description of all our stuff, or you just save it on your phone. That's 949-682-9277. 949-682-WARP.
That's easy.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Just save it in your phone as Weekly Warp Pipe. Whenever you're feeling like calling us, just say, "Hey Siri, call the Weekly Warp Pipe." You know, you could be on a drive. You got a great idea for a show. And she might say that.
It's a great timing. Sorry, everyone, that we triggered that. But we did we posted on our community page on the YouTube page there. If you watch the video version, we can communicate with you through there. We had Colby chime in from Purchase Splurge Thrifting with a suggestion. He said, video games you wish they made another one of on a certain console, or release just one more game to keep the thing going. Did you clamor for Super Mario Bros. 4 on NES? Were you hoping and praying that Battletoads made an even harder Battletoads 2?
Never wish the last one.
I mean, it probably could have come out, and maybe we never would have never known it, because I feel like there was a lot of sequel games that I didn't hear about until my adulthood, with like DuckTales 2, Chip and Dale 2.
Yeah.
Power Blade. I mean, I didn't even know Power Blade existed, let alone number 2.
Same here.
But
me neither.
Yeah, so we could kind of jump into that there. Definitely one. I mean, like he mentioned Super Mario Brothers 4. I mean, yeah, I guess that was Super Mario World, right? That was 4 because you're changing consoles. But
I think it even says 4 on Japanese marketing. I could be totally making that up. Don't fact check me.
Don't fact check. But I feel like, yeah, it totally could have come out, because we have so many ROM hack games that came out. Comes to mind Super Mario 3 Mix, I think
that's it.
Kind of similar concept, where it was kind of like Mario 3, but added stuff to it. So that could have been Super Mario Brothers 4.
Were you like clamoring for 4? Were you clamoring for 3? Like when 2 came out? Like,
that is true. Good point. Yeah.
I feel like it was so new to me. Like every time they put out another one, it was like I didn't expect it. Now, after 30 years of Mario games consistently come out, I'm like, okay, they're going to make another one eventually. Same for Zelda, same for Metroid, same for,
those big franchises.
Yeah, the big franchises. But I don't think then, like when Mario 3 came out, I wasn't like, are they going to make a 4th one? Like, it just never crossed my mind.
Right. I mean, I guess the only way you found out about these sequels coming out was you had the power, Nintendo power.
Get the clues you can use.
Nintendo power. Yeah, I mean, that was right. Or talking to a friend at the playground, like, oh, did you hear? Like, I didn't know Mario 3 was coming out till I watched The Wizard, right? We all saw it in there, and we're like, what is this?
Yeah, like, I just, like, when the second one came out, maybe that should have, like, hey, Jay, there might be a 3rd one someday, but it just didn't, like, I just didn't think about it. Like, I didn't know it was coming out until it came out. You know, like, I think information just moved a little slower back then. Like, you just didn't expect the next thing shoved down your throat. But now I get it. That's what's coming, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know that I anticipated anything. I just was happy when it came out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I feel like back in the day too, with some of these games, like you got a year, 2 years play out of them,
Yeah,
right? We're beating it for the weekend, and then you're like, when's the next one come out? I already beat this one.
right. Yeah, like, I just didn't yeah, plus I sucked at video games then, so I never beat anything until Super Mario World, and that was only because you could save your progress.
Right,
Plus
right,
Mario 1, 2, or 3, never beat them. Ninja Turtles, never beat it. Batman, never beat it.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely would have liked to see a Batman 2 be similar to that game. We got Batman and Joker, right? Where
Right,
they
Return of the Joker,
Return of the Joker with
but they completely
larger
changed the
sprites.
style, yeah.
Right. It's like different weapons, like gameplay for sure. Good
But
game.
y but yeah, I would've loved,
More
like,
of that.
the original, like, play style, like, in a second game, like, if they would've did, like, a similar game like that, but I know they did, the Batman beat 'em up, what was it? It was
Well,
just this
Batman Returns.
yeah, Batman Returns. They did that on the NES and Super NES, but, like, totally different, beat 'em up style game. But if they did Batman Returns in, like, the original form, that'd have been cool, like, with different levels and different, like, enemies and
I
yeah.
shout out to John Riggs. Where you at? I need
Yeah,
a
yeah, get that
Batman
remix going.
remix on like they easily because it played so similar to like the Ninja Gaiden trilogy. I could
Yeah,
have seen a trilogy of Batman games just like that. Literally how Ninja Gaiden was. Okay, add a little extra stuff to the next one, but it's
right.
same graphics, same gameplay,
Yeah.
music's great, cutscenes.
Like, maybe you coulda, like, threw in the like, almost like a what's the word? Like a grappling hook, almost like a Bionic Commando style. Like he throws his batarang, but it's attached to,
Hmm.
that rope on his belt, like on the first one, and he like swings across. Add that for like the second one,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and
And then
then
you can even take play of, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin came out.
yeah,
So those could have been NES titles as well. It's very similar. Two-player action, you get your Robin in there.
right.
So yeah, I definitely would have been clamoring for some
Yeah.
more Batman NES.
Had I thought about it, I would have been because that game is definitely my fave. Um, But, like, I mean, they pulled through with Castlevania 2 and 3, they pulled through with Ninja Gaiden 2 and 3, they pulled through with Double Dragon 2 and 3, like, some of the bigger name games that I actually was aware of, they kinda came through with, um, and it didn't even really matter because I never played Castlevania 1, 2, or 3 as a kid, or, I did play Double Dragon 1 and 2, but never 3, and Ninja Gaiden, I played 1, but never 2 or 3, so yeah, also, like, I think back then too, like, your resources were limited unless you were just rich or had parents that spoiled you or happened to be Tyler from My Retro Life.
Hmm,
You
hmm.
didn't just get hundreds of games, bestowed upon you because your dad was a game fanatic. Um, so, like, I only had the 6 games I had what I might get lucky to see at my little mom and pop shop rental store, and then games my friends had, and I didn't have the power, so I didn't know, or if I got lucky and just happened to see something in a store that like stood
Hmm.
out. But
It jogged my memory. I ended up I had this book in my collection for a little bit. I was going to try to use it for video ideas. It's called Compute's Guide to Nintendo Games. This came out in, let's see, where's the publication? 1989,
love it, great
and it
year.
it has short reviews of games, so I might use that to my advantage here. But they have in the back a parent's guide to Nintendo, and I thought this is kind of interesting. I can read a little bit in there where you're talking about, maybe you didn't have a lot of games.
Yeah,
So they have a little section here optimizing play on a limited budget.
yeah,
Although the initial cost of the basic Nintendo set is only about $100, add in a few hot new game titles and controller or two, and it's easily to double or triple your initial investment. If you haven't convinced your kids yet that you aren't made of money, here's a few suggestions for keeping costs down while maximizing the play value your children gets from the NES. So they suggest a Nintendo Club.
yeah,
So either formally or informally, kids can start a Nintendo Club. For example, although $30 to $50 is a lot of money for a game, particularly for one 10-year-old, it's easily managed by a group of kids. Or they said to do a Nintendo allowance, essentially doing chores and stuff and then getting a Nintendo game.
Here's the problem though with the club. What happens when the club disbands? Who gets the game?
Right, because it does mention like, okay, you all pitch in essentially to get one game, and
Yeah,
then you rotate that game. Maybe Jay gets it for 3 days, then it goes to me, then it goes to
David.
Dave, then it goes to
Yeah,
Aaron or whatever.
yeah,
But then, yeah, like you said, when it disbands, it's like who owns the game, like who doesn't return it, whoever has it last.
yeah.
So it's a little tricky with that.
Yep, a little tricky.
Um, but back to the topic on hand, I would like to say, yeah, Battletoads too. I'm very curious on why that never came out in the NES. I guess they just jumped ship to like doing the Super Nintendo, doing like the Battletoads Double Dragon like
Well,
mashup,
that was on the NES as well.
Battletoads Double Dragon.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just opted for that as opposed to a Battletoads 2. They are very similar in game style, just threw in Bibby and Jimmy.
Right, right. Instead of just, yeah, I mean, again, they could have just rinse and repeat like same format. Maybe again, maybe
They
it was
probably
just too hard.
realized that nobody ever beat Battletoads and therefore did not know the ending and would not need a second part to.
I guess that what helped me was I played Battletoads on Game Boy quite a bit more than the NES,
Yeah.
which it had different levels, right? So you're getting that fix off of the Game Boy
Yeah.
sometimes.
Okay. I think me and my buddy Mark couldn't get past the turbo tunnel as every other kid in America. So, like, as far as we were concerned, that was the end
And
until
more
5 years ago when I
so
found out.
yeah, I'd say even more recently I streamed it, and with the game Genie, I still have yet to beat the game.
I did. I finally beat it, but it took 5 months of extreme practice that I frequently brag about because, dadgummit, I feel like I earned it.
That's him. Yeah, it's dedication to the art.
So what else was that question saying, Russ? Can you pull it back up? I want to see if there's anything else we could comment on it about.
Let's see, on a certain console or release, one more game to keep the thing going. So maybe to keep a franchise alive, he suggests,
Yeah. Hmm. I mean, I can talk about it more in retrospect as opposed to when I was a child.
I mean, that's how you can take a look at the question too. Like nowadays, like what ones where we're like, oh, I wish they made more of this. Like, how come they never made Monster
Yeah.
Party 2 or
Right. Like that
whatever?
would have been cool, or like a little Nemo 2, or even a Bionic Commando 2. Because I, as now that I know what that game is and then played it and loved it and all
Hmm.
that stuff, the second one would have been rad. Instead they made Skate or Die 2, and nobody cares about that. or
Scared and ski or die.
or 1,000 bases loaded games that are probably so similar it doesn't even matter.
Well, those I guess are just roster updates, right? So it's like DLC,
Maybe. Yeah.
maybe.
You
I
know.
mean, I will say we've talked about it before, but where's my Jackal too?
Yeah, Jackal 2 would have been sick. They could have thrown in some like helicopter levels or something cool.
Hmm.
Like Twin Cobra style or something.
I mean, it's certainly a fun shooter, I guess, style game, even though you're driving or
They could
whatever.
have even did like boats. Think about it, like with like the same control. Like
Oh
that would have been
yeah.
pretty sick, right? Like if like say like you have 5 levels, like first level is your Jeep,
Hmm.
second level is like either a tank or what was the other thing I mentioned? Or like a
Helicopter.
like a helicopter, and then like a ship level, and then maybe wrap it back up with another Jeep level since that was the original, Like that'd have been
Hmm.
sick.
Yeah. Yeah, they never came out with it. There was something on Super Nintendo that I did a live stream of, and you can play as a flying vehicle and in some type of tank, but it just didn't have the same charm.
Yeah.
So definitely missed opportunity with Jackal. There, I mean, they made Top Gun 1 and 2.
Oh, I know. What a
It's like
waste.
why did that come out? There was no Top Gun 2 movie. They're just like
Well, there is
pump
now
out the game,
finally.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what else? Let me look behind me for 1 second and get an idea.
Go go browse the NES games to see what jogs your memory. What were you clamoring for? A sequel that never came. You did mention Little Nemo, which is certainly a fun game. I would have definitely enjoyed playing another one of those. I think there's some new ones coming out this year that for Little Nemo. I think they have new games coming out this year, like on Switch and PS4 and stuff. So I'm excited for those.
I
But
got 3 games for you, Russ.
okay,
What about a Stynex 2? That'd have been
okay,
kinda cool. I really like the first Stynex. It's got a few levels that are, like, crazy hard, like Marshy is the name of one of them, but that game I thought was kinda rad. The other 2 I saw were Journey to Silius, like, that would have made a great second game,
hmm.
like, Return to Silius or something they coulda called it, you know? 'Cause the first was the Journey,
Well, I
and then
guess because that one was essentially, if you don't know, was going to be a Terminator game, but they lost the license, so they tweaked some stuff.
right, but they
So
they did it really well. I mean, it's a great game.
I mean,
It
and Terminator 2 came out, so I guess
There you
they
go.
could have got some more ideas from that.
Steal some more ideas, right? What was the other one? Or was that based off the second movie?
Maybe. Yeah, definitely a fun space game for sure. Good music. So I could definitely see that being a fun sequel.
Dang it, I saw another one over here that struck my interest and I wanted to bring it up. Now I can't see it again. Hang on a second. I'm sorry.
Just gonna go back to the NES wall. What games stand out? Sequels that never came. Could have been because maybe developers went under, ran out of money. Who knows?
Got it. Got it.
Okay,
Here it is. You ready?
okay. Hit me.
This is a Nintendo staple of the late 80s. Why was there never a Kid Icarus 2 on the NES?
Yeah, with him being like, you know, a what would you call it, mascotish,
Yeah.
right? He only got a game on the NES and and one on the Game Boy, I think, and then the 3DS and all that. But yeah, they never went back and gave him a sequel. We
And
got
I'm gonna
I want to say because it's similar to Metroid. We did get Metroid, and then we got Metroid 2 was on Game Boy, so it
I
kind
w
of followed
I was
suit.
about to bring the fact up that I wish Metroid 2 would have been on the NES.
That's true.
I've tried to play it on the Game Boy. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, I played it on the Super Game Boy, trying to get a little more life into it with some color, but I just I I'm gonna break a lot of people's hearts. The original Game Boy, garbage, trash. How did you people play that thing? It had no backlight. It was puke pea green.
Puke Pea Green.
It sucked. I remember my cousin Tabitha got the Game Boy
Hmm.
the same year I got my NES, Christmas of '89. I go to Mississippi to visit her. I take my Nintendo with me. She's like, "Can I play your Nintendo while you play my Game Boy?" I bet I played Mario, what was it, Mario Land
Yeah.
for about 3 minutes, and I said, "This is awful. Let's trade back, please." Like, I hated it. The Goomba was like that big,
You got to use
and
the magnifier glass
and
on
the
there.
and the and the one up mushroom was like I can't make the size. It was even smaller, like that big maybe. Everything was tiny. I know that was the one of the first games. Tetris, I get it. Okay, Tetris, you could play the Tetris on basically anything. It's pretty fun. But I played Ninja Turtles on that game. I played the Contra, was it Operation C on that? I played uh, Belmont's Revenge and
Hmm.
whatever the other Castlevania game was.
Hmm.
I hate all of them.
I feel like this would be a separate podcast episode.
Fair enough. We'll save more. We'll save it for later. But yeah, like, why didn't you put Metroid 2 on the NES? That was my long way of saying that.
Right. Or even if you wanted to do a Metroid 3
Yeah,
essentially on there before you jump straight to Super Nintendo with Metroid on there.
before
Super
you
Metroid.
made the best Metroid game of all time.
Right, right. What are the games to stand out here? Some of them did good. I was just streaming Adventure Island 2. So they did Adventure Island 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
So I was thinking
They
of
even they
that.
even had a Star Tropics 2,
Right.
which I need to play and beat, hopefully
So we
someday
got a good
soon.
sequel with that. What about like Excite Bike 2? Feel like that would be an
Now,
easy.
all they should have done for Excite Bike 2 was just made your levels savable when you created them and make it
Right.
multiplayer.
Right. Yeah, two-player, right.
You do that, Excite Bike 2 is a hit,
And it makes me think like that never used the four score. You couldn't do four players with Excite Bike. Like
right?
that would have
Blown
been
opportunity.
it was so much better. That would have been better than doing four players with freaking Nightmare on Elm Street.
I know. Like Excite Bike is like one of the first games I bought when I got back into NES. I was so excited to hear that. Dude, I just want to go back to the 80s and smell a Nintendo cartridge and listen to that song. That's all I want to do with my life.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great one. Smell that cartridge. Smell
Jay's
smell the
sniffing it up.
80s vibes.
Good God.
What have we come to?
I don't know.
Was it ASMR?
That's true.
Come, guys, and
Or like
sniff Nintendo games with me.
smell a vision.
Ah, smells like the 80s. All right, moving on. What are we talking about, Russ? Hey, you know
Games
what?
we
There
games we
was
want sequels.
there was how what about a prequel? We got Gremlins 2. What about Gremlins 1?
Oh yeah, huh?
That'd have been
And
cool.
we got Goonies 2, and well, Goonies 1 was on Famicom.
Yeah,
But yeah, why did they didn't never made Goonies Gremlins 1?
right? That would've been
They I
awesome.
guess they couldn't figure out the level setup. I guess it would have to be like in the house. You'd be going through his house doing stuff and then have to be maybe outside. I don't know.
A
I'm sure they can make it work somehow.
all I know is there needed to be a still shot of the woman as she flies up the chair rail and out the ceiling.
That had to be
That was my
a
favorite part of
cinematic
that movie.
cutscene.
So good.
Funny enough, if people don't know, the what would you call it? The green, the town square or whatever of that movie is the same as Back to the Future.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just shot in the same lot.
That's funny. I like that.
So there's your little
Yeah, they gave us all
tidbit.
this Back to the Futures, but won't even give us Gremlins 1?
Right, right. We got Back to the Future, and then for whatever reason, Back to the Future 2 and 3 on one cart.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? It's not going to sell great. Let's just
Yeah.
bang
Let's
them both out.
double package them. More bang for your buck.
Yeah, I'm surprised they. So that kind of brings up a point with, okay, they did that with Back to the Future. I wonder why there was never re-release of games. Like there was no package of like Mario 1, 2, and 3 in one cartridge. Let's do Turtles, all of them, or even 1 and 2
Yeah.
into just one cartridge and resell it to us. Like, oh, hey, I never got the first one, but instead of buying the second one, I'll get this double pack.
They didn't do that until the Super Nintendo. Obviously, you got your Mario All-Stars, you got your Ninja Gaiden trilogy.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Well, the only pack I could think of is your Mario Duck Hunt, and
yeah,
then your Mario Duck Hunt and
World Class Track Meet.
World
And that
Class Track
is that
Meet.
what it was? And then there was a World Class Soccer combo with something, wasn't it? Or
I think Super Spike V Ball.
Super Psych people. Was it World
Yeah,
Soccer? Yeah,
yeah, those are I think two that I can think of.
yeah. Was there a short order and explode
Oh
double pack?
yeah, that's right. So
Yeah,
there you go. There's three.
there you go. But no good games. Well,
No
except the
good
Mario
games.
games.
Let's see. What are the? You know what? I'm gonna pull up my list
Yeah,
off the top of the dome, and
and I'm gonna continue to look behind me,
I don't have my games
so don't
handy,
mind
so I
me.
can't look. We did come up the top. Well, got suggested the topic a little late, and I never did a post, so I can't chime in to you guys. Usually, we post on our social media what you guys suggest for these here. So, fortunately, no viewer feedback on this episode.
Was there two Kirby's on the NES or just
I think it was just Kirby and Dreamland, right?
what is this one behind me? Hang on.
I think that's the NES
So
version.
I think Dreamland was the Game Boy and Adventure was the NES.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
Once again, wasted the game on Game Boy. Could have been cool. Nope.
Could have been cool.
You know, it would have been cool if they'd have made, like, more than 2 Mega Mans. Oh, wait, they did.
Rinse and repeat on that one. They made multiple Contras going with that. I mean, we never got a Darkwing Duck too. We got the DuckTales, we got the Rescue Rangers. Like
Yeah.
everyone else is getting the sequels. Darkwing Duck, I guess, just got left behind.
Yeah, I guess it was too dangerous for
I
NES.
did play. There's a few ROM hacks available for Darkwing Duck that you can play, so you can kind of get your sequel that way.
That game's
But
fantastic too, really good.
yeah, so I mean, if you like Mega Man and DuckTales and all that, it's kind of all combined up. Again, I wonder why to go with the horror. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. There's like 10 movies each of those. Why weren't
Yeah.
there sequels to those?
Yeah, they made crazy Back to the Future ones, why not those? Yeah.
Friday the 13th, Jason Lives, the NES game, right?
They should have made a Jason side scroller where you, like, hack people up.
Right.
Guess
Where you
was
play as Jason?
Yeah, that'd have been cool.
Missed opportunity.
Probably too violent for NES standards.
Yeah, I guess so. Jaws, they could have done sequels with that.
Yeah, Jaws had 1,000 movies.
So, although the Jaws on NES is based on the third movie.
Maybe that's why they didn't.
So they're like, we're already missing it. Karate Kid,
Yep.
right? That could have been good to do a couple. They kind of like trying to think which
Did they
it
did
based
they
off of
kinda did
three.
they kinda packaged 1 and 2 together, did they not?
I think the story was
Yeah. It's
a
like the
couple of the
very end of
movies.
1 and then part of 2.
They're like, we're not going to get multiple games out of this. Can't sucker the kids on it.
Yeah. Where was the
Uh,
level where Johnny chased him around in the school with the skeleton outfit?
right. You could have been riding dirt bikes in it.
Yeah, it could've been sick.
Monster in My Pocket. That
Great
would have been
game.
sick
Yep.
to do a sequel on that.
Yeah,
Choose different monsters instead of having
totally.
Frankenstein and Dracula. Maybe you get like Bigfoot or I don't
Yeah,
know, Slide Monster or something
yeah,
like that.
and just put more tiny little things in there, make it cool.
I felt like that's an easy repackage. Could have done 3 of those on NES for sure. Anything else? Let's pull it up. Rampage? There was no Rampage 2 on NES.
Yeah,
They made a crap ton of those games
yeah.
on every system.
Could've done
Like,
like a Life Force too.
yeah,
Life Force
I guess they reached their quota of shooters.
I guess. Maybe Gradius and Life Force was enough.
We got 3 RoboCops though on the NES,
3 Turtles.
3 Turtles, 3 different Simpsons games.
Yep, Simpsons was crazy.
So there was quite a few that got a good sequel or
A
a
and
trilogy.
then there's some that didn't get anything. Like,
Right.
why was there no Transformers game?
Right. There was only the one in on the Famicom that
Yeah,
they reviewed. Yeah, Transformers. Come on. We got 2 GI Joe games,
2 G.I. Joe games.
which
Yeah.
I'm more of a fan of the GI Joe Real American Hero, not the
Is that the white cover?
yes.
That's my favorite one of the 2.
The other one is by Capcom is the Atlantis Factor, and I wasn't a
Yeah,
big fan of that one.
it was very similar, but didn't quite hit.
Right. So I would have loved another like do another with
Oh, wa
different people.
that was Taxan that did that, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah. Do
like
I have it on here?
90% sure Taxan did that. I got the box behind me.
Look it up.
Yeah, Taxan, I can see it from here.
Where's our regular sequel? Real American Hero 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. Quite a few that could have been. But I guess you almost fill the market now with some of these ROM hacks that people do so you can kind of get a little bit more life out of that nostalgic of the game. There's so many Mario ones that they do. I've seen quite a few Castlevania ones as well.
They should
So
just you know what a company could do that would just, like, drive NES fans insane? Like, what if, what's the company that made, like or, like, let's say, like, Konami. Let's say, what if Konami, even though they stopped making their Planko machines or whatever they're called, Plinko, Planko, I don't know what it's called. What if they re-released or not re-released, but made like a Castlevania, like, I don't know, 5 or something
Okay.
and like packaged it with old NES carts,
Hmm.
stickers, booklet, old NES package. Like, I feel like NES fans would buy that like crazy.
Yeah, like it basically a new
Like
NES game
yeah, a
essentially,
new
but
NES game.
because they have all the predecessors now where you can get the Curse of the Moon, like Bloodstain is
Yeah,
basically Castlevania, but on newer gen consoles where they can do a little bit more. But if you're just sticking to the limitations of an NES, then you're kind of looking at like a
but
homebrew essentially.
they could do some cool stuff because by the time that console's life was over, they were really pushing the limits, and there's probably chips now they could put in an NES game to make it even cooler.
Yeah, I imagine so. I mean, we have
30 years of
the
technology.
I was gonna say NES Maker is a device that my buddy Joe Granado's invented or is backed or whatever, and it's I guess easier for you to make your own NES game, and they do competitions each year for what people come up with on there. And some people do some pretty cool stuff. NES Maker, if
I'm
you
gonna
guys
have to
haven't looked
Google
in it.
that. I didn't even heard of that.
Yeah, so you can almost kind of make your own. I never got to use it, so I don't know how. I assume it's a lot user friendly than just you coding like on the keyboard,
Yeah,
where it's you know hooking it up somehow to the computer and you're making your sprites and all that, and then you can make a pretty basic game. But I played a few on there, and some are pretty phenomenal.
cool.
So there's your opportunity to make these sequels that haven't come out. Now's the time.
I can finally make Mega Man 7
On NES.
on NES. That's right. Let me clarify.
Sweet. I dig it. Got anything else to add to this topic?
No, it's kind. It was. To be honest with you, this topic was challenging for me because I wanted to come at it from my youth perspective, but I had no basis to do so because I didn't. I just didn't have the foresight to look into the future of what might come next. I just took it as it came. But now, as an adult,
Right.
realizing things do come next, it would be easier if you're like, "Hey, what do you want for the Breath of the Wild 3?" You know, I'd be like, "Oh, I can tell you exactly what I want." You know,
Right. Where
so
back then it's hard to put yourself in that perspective of like,
right, so I
are we
really have to
excited?
look at it from a retrospect, like, okay, what would I want now looking back? So,
Hmm.
I hope that answered his question. I mean, we went off on some tangents, sorry about that, especially the Game Boy. But, like, hopefully it was still interesting, but I just don't know that I answered his question the way he originally asked it.
Right. Video games you wish they made another one of on certain consoles or release just more to keep the thing going.
Like, when he
Y-
says, "Did you clamor for Super Mario Brothers 4 on the NES?" That's what I based my whole thought on this question around because the fact was no. I didn't I could never see past the 3rd one, you know? So when Mario World came out, my mind was blown because I never saw it coming.
Right, right. So then we all had at that point jump ship to the Super Nintendo or whatever.
Right. Well, like, yeah, or just knowing that it came out, like, I was like, "Oh, I never thought this would come out," you know?
Right.
Probably felt the same way when Mario 64 came out, like, "Oh, it gets better? That's crazy." Like, now he's in a 3D world? What's next? And then at that point, then I might have thought, "What's next?" But
Right.
maybe up until that point, I didn't my little pea brain just couldn't see into the future.
You're just happy with what you got.
Happy with what I got, exactly.
Sweet. Well, hey, Colby, thanks so much for the topic. We appreciate it. He left a bunch more, so we might dive into those. I'll put those in the in my notes to future days for a rainy
Cool.
day.
Sweet.
I was hitting the wrong thing. I was like,
You muted me. Dang it.
I muted you. I want
No
to
more
bring up the
rants for you, Jay.
phone number. Call us if you guys got topics. Again, 949-682-9277. Save it in your phone. Give us a buzz. We'd love to hear from you guys. And you can check out the weekly warpipe.com. We got merch up there. If you want to support the show, you could get stickers, magnets, hats, t-shirts, all
Get
the
your
fun stuff.
t-shirts.
Get a
Get your
t-shirt.
t-shirts, tag us on Instagram.
Yeah. Shout out to Andy from the 90s are rad.
Andy
picked
is
up a shirt.
rad.
And then, if you want to support the show any other way, we got my Patreon, patreon.com/Russ Lyman.
Doing good things through that too, Russ.
We got our top tier Patreons. We got Dan and Nicole's Treasures Untold, Joe Sheevy, Trace Living Good, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, Retroholic 16, Austin Mills. I said I did just I got a new computer finally. So thank you so much to the Patreons. I used some Patreon money, a little bit of YouTube money. So we got this situation going, and we'll be sending Jay my computer so we can continue the podcast.
Yes, thank God, because who knows how many days this computer has left on its life. Every day that I get another video or another weekly Warpipe, I'm like, oh my God, it didn't freeze this week.
We can see Jay.
That's right.
So appreciate you guys watching. If you're on YouTube, if you guys are listening, feel free to leave a review on whatever platform you're on, iTunes, Spotify, and all that. It would help the podcast. And maybe more people end up checking it out. I'm going to be doing my best to promote the podcast a lot at Retro World Expo. That's coming up next month in August. We're going to have a table there. So I'm going to probably get a banner with the podcast name, and I'm going to be selling some stuff and handing out promotional things. So hopefully we get some more listeners. You guys maybe be checking out some backlog episodes.
Give us a review.
Yeah.
Say more Russ, less Jay.
Dig it. Well, we appreciate you guys jumping in the warp pipe with us. And we'll see you guys the next level.